Hey everybody, AJ from Knights of the Apex here. In this video I'm going to be covering my Total Archery Challenge gear checklist and setup and what I'm going to be running for the Utah event at the end of July. If you're not familiar with Total Archery Challenge and what those events entail, go check out some videos after this and then come back here and watch this again because you're definitely going to want to do one of these at some point. But I don't need to hype Total Archery Challenge or TAC any more than it already is, so let's just get right into the gear. Now, what you're looking at right now, this is how I'm going to enter the course. If you haven't shot a Total Archery Challenge course before, definitely make sure that you get there a little early. You want to give yourself enough time to register, head to the practice range, make sure everything is still dialed. As we get closer to the event, I'm going to do a video dedicated to traveling and packing with a bow. I'm going to be traveling with my Easton travel roller bow case. I do have a review of that up on knightsoftheapex.com if you want to check that out as well. But getting right into the gear, this is how I'm going to roll onto a course when I get off of the lift. This is everything that I'm bringing with me. It's really not a lot. So you'll see some guys running even less than this. Some guys will be running more. Shoot it how you want. This is a fun shoot. If you're a 3D shooter and you want to roll with just your hip quiver, water bottle, and your bow, go for it. If you want to bring your whole 3 to 5 day backpack overnight rig, let your freak flag fly. No one's going to judge you for it. Shoot the course how you want. And even if you can't shoot it, if you're in the area of one, go check it out, meet some people, and you never know. Maybe there'll be some no-shows and you can pick up a ticket. I'll go through everything one by one. Let's start with the bow. So this is my normal hunting rig. This is a PSE Evo NXT 31. It's a 28-inch draw, 72-pound pulling weight. I'm getting 277 feet per second out of this with a 450 grain arrow. This is an Easton Axis Pro Match. I've got a nocturnal lighted Nox on there. I may switch up my arrow for Total Archery Challenge. I'm actually planning on running the new Easton 6.5 bow hunters. I really like the components that come with them, and I think they're an awesome arrow for those that are just getting into bow hunting or just getting into working on their and building their own arrows. It's a really affordable way to get into a high-end arrow and really a complete arrow system that you can grow with over time. So I want to do an arrow build video using those, run those for turkey season, and because they're a lighter arrow, depending on how well I feel like I'm shooting with them in the wind, I might even run them for tack as well because I'll be able to get a little bit more distance with a little bit tighter pin gap. As far as accessories go, this is a Spot Hog Fast Eddy XL double pin sight, Hamskea Hybrid Hunter Pro arrow rest, tight spot 5 arrow quiver, and then I've got some more arrows in my backpack. Quattro Dentro stabilizer. This is an 8-inch stabilizer with an Easton QD mount. Makes it really easy to travel with. As far as requirements for shooting a Total Archery Challenge course, the only real requirement is a setup that'll allow you to shoot out to 100, 110 yards. Now the standard shots are going to be anywhere from 40 to 80 yards, but on most of the courses I shot, there was at least one target, if not 3 or 4, that were 100 yards plus. Some courses even had larger bison and moose targets out at 120, 130 yards. So you want to make sure that your setup, however you're running it, can get out to those distances. So one of the easy ways to check vein clearance is simply to take your arrow, run it backwards so that the shaft is running to where the nock normally would. Ideally, right, you want to release your arrow rest so that it's holding the arrow up, and you want to make sure you have enough space for your veins to clear that housing. Right now my housing is set all the way to its lowest possible position. Alright, moving on to clothing and the rest of my gear. These KOTA shirts really hug your body. I'm going to be self-conscious about my nipples this entire video. Is this better? Yes, I'm in a change of clothes. Now somehow this part of the video where I discuss clothing got corrupted or something, but whatever it is, it's gone. What I wanted to say was dress comfortable for hiking and being on the mountain. You're probably going to be running a course from anywhere from 2 to 4 hours depending on how quickly you run through it. So most people were running their normal hunting, hiking, climbing type pants and comfortable shirt, sweatshirt depending on the weather. The one thing I definitely would recommend is a good pair of boots. And make sure you invest in a good quality pair of boots and that you've worn them and they're broken in by the time you get to a TAC event. When I shot Utah with my buddy Devin, aka Jits Savage on Instagram, He was shooting a course while I was actually on my flight to Utah, and when I landed, I had a couple of messages from him asking to stop by Black Ovis and pick him up a set of Crispies because the boots that he was wearing were absolutely wrecking his feet. And he's a complete badass. So if his dogs were crying, as far as what I wear, these are a set of Crispy Crossover GTXs. These are the same boots I've been running consistently, pretty much exclusively for the past 2 years, with the exception of my lacrosse rubber boots that I'll wear in the wintertime whitetail hunting. These boots have been absolutely awesome. I've replaced the soles once. I'm probably going to do that once a year just because they get kind of nasty over time, but they're absolutely great. They're low profile, which is what I like. I'm not doing a lot of side hilling, and yes, even on Total Archery Challenge, you are going to be on a mountain and there is some elevation, but it's not K2. So you want something with some support, protection, durability, and that's not going to kill your feet. Invest in your feet. Boots last a long time. It's worth the money that you spend. Also, the beginning of my optics discussion got cut off. I'm running a set of 10x42s, pretty standard. Most people were running binoculars. I definitely recommend having a set. Some of the targets are at distances of 100 yards. They're going to be obscured by shadows, branches, and whatnot. So at least somebody in your party should be running a set of quality binoculars. And if you don't have a set of binos, watch this next clip. Now, if you don't have a set of binos, Leupold is a sponsor of Total Archery Challenge, and they had a booth at both events that I was there, and I'm pretty sure they'll be at all of the events again this year. And they do have a loaner program at a first-come, first-served basis. So if you get to the event a little early, hand your driver's license over as collateral, and you can rent any of the optics that they have on the table and take them on the course and test them out. Pretty cool. I grabbed a set of, I believe they were 10x50s last year, so a little bigger bino, larger aperture. So is aperture the right word? I don't know. But yeah, worth having a set of binos. For this year, I'm going to be running just a super lightweight system like this. These are basically just bungee cords that my binos are strapped to. Last year, I did run my Alaska Guide Creations bino harness. I love hunting with this thing because it's basically the kitchen sink on my chest. I can keep my binos, my headlamp, flashlight, 2 releases, rangefinder, snacks, tags, Tyto knife, everything right here in front of me. Very easy to access, quick, silent, but it's just a little too much for Total Archery Challenge. I don't need all of that stuff right in front of me. There's nothing that is super time sensitive, so I'm going to be running just a lighter weight setup, get a little bit more air flowing. As for my rangefinder, I'm going to be running that and my release actually in this little release pouch off to the side. Release wise, unless something changes, I'm going to be running my Nock 2 at Silverback. This is actually the Silverback Mini. I've loved shooting this the last couple of months, and I'm probably going to stick with it for Total Archery Challenge. This release pouch does have a divider to keep both objects separated, which is a nice feature too. Legend Archery actually makes it. Rangefinder wise, I'm going to be running the SIG. This is an older model. These are the Kilo 2200 LRHs. Long range something. What's great about Total Archery Challenge is you're going to find very quickly that some of the gear that you thought was super Gucci has its flaws and its quirks and kind of downfalls. Rangefinders are a big one. I shot with guys that had Vortex. I was running the SIG. I shot with another guy that had a Leica. All of them had their little quirks, and there was at least one target on each course that one of us seemed like we were cursing out our rangefinders for. For me in particular, I found with the SIG, with its circular reticle, at least on the model that I have, it's a circular reticle and it's a little too large. At targets 80 yards and beyond, if they were a smaller target, I had difficulty telling what in that circle the rangefinder was actually ranging. I wasn't sure if it was ranging the foreground or background or the target itself. Also on different color targets, if it was a white target, right, like a goat, I would get a different range than if it was a darker target like a black bear or an elk or something like that. So I noticed anywhere from 2 to 3 yard differences depending on what color surface I was ranging. Now 2 to 3 yards might not seem a lot if you're shooting 40 yards and in, but when you're at 90 and 100 yards, 2 to 3 yards, depending on your setup, that could be the difference between a 12 ring or a complete whiff. Also, as far as angle compensation goes, not all algorithms are created equal. I will say of everybody that I shot with, it seemed like the guy that was running the Leica had the most accurate and consistent readouts, but his rangefinder also cost $1,000. So I guess you get what you pay for. As far as this little guy right here, this is actually a Peak Designs capture camera clip. So many C's. This is the version 3. I got this idea from actually a Gritty Bowman video. I believe he runs something similar. What I'll do is I'll switch over to my phone right now and show you how I use this for those of you that are looking to bring a camera with you, which I do honestly recommend. Save the memories, take the extra second, capture the moment. It's worth it. You'll be happy you did later on. Alright, sorry for the weird angle. We're now recording on my phone, so hopefully the quality doesn't completely suck. So I've got my camera here clipped into the Peak Design. I have a little strap kind of dangling right here. I know it might be hard to see. I've got a whole lot of crap hanging off of me. Because I'm going to have my bow in one hand, what I'll do is I'll slip my hand through this camera strap, and then there's a little clip right here that that is used to connect or disconnect the camera from the clip. So what I can do is I can grab the camera, activate the clip with my thumb, and then just remove the camera, and now I'm ready to shoot videos, photos, whatever I might need to do. Need to throw it back in, just like that. God forbid I fumble, no problems. Still got my bow in my hand, camera's still safe, not going too far. Alright, so what I'll do now is I'll get into my backpack, what I have in there, and how I kind of have that laid out. This is actually the pack that I ran for the Vermont event last year. This is a Mystery Ranch Treehouse pack. I didn't run this because I thought it would be a good idea. As the name implies, treehouse, this is obviously a tree stand backpack, but at the time, this was the only quality backpack. Actually, this was the only backpack I owned at the time. I didn't even have like a little JanSport or something that I could just throw some stuff in and run on the mountain. So, I mean, great backpack. I did a review on this. It's on the website as well if you want to check that out. If you're a tree stand hunter, awesome option, but not exactly what you want to take on the mountain for hiking. The second half of the Utah event, I ran this Sitka Ascent 12 pack. When I come off of the course, I'll take my binos off, throw them in there as well, anything else that I don't need at my disposal. I didn't talk about this earlier, but I would recommend bringing at least a dozen arrows. Some of the shots are definitely harder. You're gonna either whiff or hit a branch, or something unexpected is gonna happen if you don't just screw up and miss entirely. I want to say I blew about 4 or 5 arrows between the 3 courses that I shot in Vermont and Utah. I was really struggling in Utah. I had some issues with my cables on my Vertix while I was there, and you know, these things happen, so make sure you have plenty of arrows, at least a dozen, if not 18 or 2 dozen, just because, you know, you want to be able to take those further shots and poke out at those distances and not be paranoid that you're not going to have enough to finish the course. So why not do that if you can? I'm just going to be running them inside the side of my backpack just like this. This is a clamshell opening on this pack, and I'll just run them right down the side. There's a little zip pocket on the top here. That's where I'll keep the stuff that I want to kind of get to in a hurry. I've got my wallet. This is a Fish Hunt Fight wallet in First Light Fusion. Set of sunglasses for when I'm walking around Archery Village. I don't like shooting in glasses. Chapstick. For you Eastern guys traveling out west, bring chapstick. By the second day, you could tell all the guys that don't spend a lot of time in the mountains because they look like one of the Kardashians. Their lips were so red and inflamed. Getting into the main compartment. Water-wise, right, I like running a hydration bladder. This one's a 2.5 liter Osprey hydration bladder. I've had this one for about 2.5 years. It's held up really, really well. I like running a bladder versus a Nalgene bottle. I just find that I have an issue remembering to drink water when I'm having a good time. So having that little straw right in front of my mouth, it's just easy for me to just take sips as I'm hiking and doing stuff versus having to reach around, grab the bottle, open it. I forget to do it when it's there. So I'll probably downscale it a little bit, run like a 1 or a 1.5 liter. They do have water on the course, but it's usually around target 20 out of 25. So if you don't have water with you, you might be really thirsty by the time you get there. I got snacks, RX bars, Justin's peanut butter. med kit and little bow repair kit. Always have band-aids, tourniquet, extra D-loop material, extra knock and feel points. That's just kind of what I throw in there. When I'm hunting, I'll usually have a personal med kit and then also a bow med kit with extra supplies, broadheads, and some serving material and things like that so I can work on it. For Total Archery Challenge, I'll just combine them into this little Quattro stuff sack right here. I believe this is I'm not sure if this is the small or the extra small. I always like to carry some sort of med kit with me, just band-aids, leukotape, antiseptic, wipes, gauze, and tourniquet just in case something happens. We are dealing with pointy objects and hiking around a mountain, so God forbid somebody falls, gets hurt. I'd rather have it than not have it. Thankfully, I've never had to use the tourniquet, but I have had to use the bandages and leukotape quite a lot. Moving down to the last little pouch right here. I've got a Goal Zero energy pack, but this thing's great. I can get 2.5 phone charges off of it. It's got a little flashlight on there if you need that. As far as rain gear goes, this is a Sitka quarter zip, super lightweight, very easy to pack. It weighs nothing. I can just throw it on over me and it'll keep me plenty of dry for the amount of time I'm going to be on the mountain. And then I can always go back to my car or hotel room or whatever and change once I get done shooting the course. Last thing is I'll usually just throw my toiletry bags in there. Again, the Sitka Faru stuff sack. I think this is the medium-sized one. Just in case you want to freshen up. It always pays to just have your toiletries with you, deodorant, wet wipes. You are going to be on the mountain for a little while, so nature calls. Anytime you see a hiker with one sock on, you know what happened. So that's it, everybody. That's my Total Archery Challenge gear checklist for Utah 2020. Drop a comment below. Is there anything that you're thinking about bringing that I didn't cover here, or anything that you have found useful when you shot a Total Archery Challenge event in the past? Let me know. If you like this video, definitely like and subscribe. Going to be pushing out more content, looking to do a video at least every week for this foreseeable future. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Follow Knights of the Apex on Instagram, TikTok, or knightsoftheapex.com. If you're going to be at the Utah event and you see me and the rest of the KOTA crew, definitely come up, say hi. I would love to meet some of you and hope to see you there. Send them straight.